All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see you. Welcome back to my Empire Pro. Um, what we do here is we basically right now we're covering a lot of information. So you consider this free information about wholesale real estate in the United States. So as we're going, I'm going to be dropping videos, dropping at least 3 videos a week or so, somewhere like that. I also do this live stream live like this. So welcome, welcome. Please feel free to introduce yourself. Let me get to know you. We're basically we're doing a reboot for the channel. If you go back to our original videos, you notice that this is almost 10 years that we've been running this channel. And we have tons and tons of videos on this platform, as in literally tons of videos, no less than 1,000, probably more. We have content that are pretty much evergreen, and also at the end of our every end screen, you would notice that we also link you to our free courses. Okay, I think on this platform we have, let me see, about 1,300 videos. Okay, majority of the videos are about wholesale real estate. Some videos are about digital marketing, AI, but we've basically rebooted things because we're in an era where we can actually do the wholesale real estate business in a much more easier, simpler way thanks to technology. All right. So without any further ado, we're just going to jump right into the conversation today. I like talking about real estate. We've had some numbers. We'll see if we can crack some numbers today. But I've got some other subtopics I want to talk about, and then basically let's just rub minds together. But let's get to it, and I will be right back. All right, welcome back. The first thing I want to talk today about is DISPO explained, what it really means in wholesale real estate. So we're going to talk about DISPO, but I guess maybe we should first of all define what wholesale real estate is, and then we'll talk about DISPO on why it is important. So I'm going to explain that, well, wholesale real estate is an opportunity to make money in real estate, regardless of what your status is in terms of financial resources and things like that. Ideally, you're supposed to have a lot of money to be able to make money in real estate, but that's no longer, well, it hasn't been that case for about 20 years. I closed my first deal this December, will be 20 years. That's crazy. Wow, 20 years. But anyway, I closed my first deal about 20 years ago. So, well, anyway, I wanted to be share some things don't change, obviously the means to the end, some tweaks here and there when it comes to technology, right? That has changed. However, some things just don't change. A lot of things don't change. So, some of the information I'll be sharing with you, they are evergreen in nature. The only difference is that you have to master them, okay? But also, I'll give you an example. Our marketing strategies have changed with the times. We used to send direct mail. You can still send direct mail, but today let's add direct digital marketing on top of that, okay? My books are available for free. You can get them for free. I'll try to link them. I keep saying for free, but yeah, if you're getting the Kindle, but I'll link the books in the description. I'll try to do that. All right, but they're available on Amazon. The first book I wrote is called Smart Real Estate Wholesaling. The second book I wrote on this topic is called Real Estate Money Secrets, and the third book is Digital Marketing. Obviously, we're in a digital marketing era. You might have stumbled into people that say you can drive for dollars. I don't encourage it, but some people have done it successfully. It's just not my style. But let's get into it. So what is DISPO? Well, wholesale, first of all, what is wholesale real estate? Wholesale real estate is basically the art and the science of finding discounted deals, finding discounted real estate deals, okay? And then locking them under contract, under a sales contract, which creates an equitable interest in a piece of property, and then you assign that contract to an end buyer investor in exchange for an assignment fee. An assignment fee can go anywhere from $10,000 and to up. Also, in reality, I have walked out of a deal before for $0. Okay, we just there was some hiccups that came up with the title. There was some cloud over the title of the property, and we created a deal. We walked out with nothing, but we created what we called a promissory note. Okay, we created a cloud against the title for the new buyer for about $25,000, and we just did it just in case if they ever need to close in the future, they will need to basically uh, they need to agree to some kind of deal with us. Okay, and then or at least on paper they're supposed to pay us $25,000 in order to close in the future. So it was a promissory note against the property on the name of the new buyer, the person we were selling to. So not too long after that, they called us and they wanted to negotiate the $25,000, and we accepted $10,000, and it was just a random payday, just like that. So there's a lot of things you can do with real estate like that. But anyway, back to the topic. Wholesale real estate is the art and science of finding deeply discounted properties, okay, locking them under a sales contract, which creates an equitable interest, which is an asset for you, and then you can assign the right to buy this house with the sales letter. Create a right to buy the house. You can assign that to somebody else for a fee, assignment fee, and that's wholesale real estate. And we find these deals how, by going after distressed situations, distressed properties, distressed sellers, people that have a need to get rid of a piece of property. That creates, if you can find them, that creates opportunities. And we use marketing strategies to find them. Precisely right now, we're using digital marketing to find these deals, to find people that are open to buying. Back in the days, we used to hang bandit signs. I don't know, some people might still do that. Bandit signs are those yellow signs at the stop red light. We hang them, and when we hang them, people call us. It says we buy houses, 1-800 buy houses, something like that. And then when they call us, we don't do that anymore because we don't have to. Plus, honestly, I've had police call me before and asking me to take them down. That's not a phone call to receive. So now, why are we talking about DISPO? What is DISPO? Well, in wholesale real estate, there are three phases. There is the marketing phase. Phase one is marketing, and there is the phase two is acquisition, and phase three is disposition. Okay, so like I said, our marketing these days is digital marketing. If you pick up my book, we cover that tactic in the book. Okay, basically marketing, we collect a lot of data, and then we convert those data to contacts, and then from contacts to leads. Okay, from data to contact. Okay, that's the process number one. Process number two, from contact to leads. Basically, when somebody say, yes, I'm interested in selling my property, that becomes a lead. And then we go through what we call the phase two, acquisition, right? And then process number three is from lead to contract. You turn them to contract. Remember, you create a contract. The contract creates an equitable interest, which is basically a right for you to buy the property. You assign that right to other people. Assigning the right to another person, that part of the process is called disposition. That's phase number three. And that's why we're talking about disposition right now. Okay, so we call it DISPO for short. Okay, and in DISPO, you basically turn that contract into, you close the deal, basically. Okay, all right, you close the deal. All right, so all of that can actually be done inside of this software right here. It's called PropStream. Okay, if you want to support my channel, you just go through this link. They give you a free trial for 30 days, and then you decide if it's something you want to keep. So today we're talking about how to DISPO deal. Well, how do you assign the contract to other people? Who's other people? You have to find cash buyers, people that have proven. The best ones, it could be anybody, but it's the best ones are people that have proven that they have that kind of money. Okay, so how do you DISPO? Explain this, what I just did. Okay, On another video, after this video, I'm going to go through how to dispo wholesale real estate deals. Okay. But that's essentially what disposition is basically the third phase in a wholesale real estate transaction. It is when you assign your right to buy a property to another person. Well, why would they, you're assigning, why are we doing all of this? Well, you find, remember, you're finding a discounted property. You're creating equity almost instantly by simply finding distressed properties, distressed homeowners, motivated sellers, people that need to get rid of a property. They have a personal reason why they need to get rid of a property, like right now. Like right now, you might call it desperate, for whatever reason, something that has to do with their overall financial situation. They need to get rid of this piece of property. Okay, and that third phase of assigning, once you've locked up a property, locked up a discount with a sales contract, a regular real estate sales contract, an assignable real estate sales contract, not a regular one, an assignable real estate. There's a special type of real estate sales contract you need to use. It's assignable, right? Once you lock this property up under this contract, and then you find an end buyer. Okay, you find an end buyer investor, somebody that can afford to buy the property for cash, or somebody that has the resources to pick up this property, and then they pay you an assignment fee, they pay for the property, and then you keep it moving, you keep looking for properties. The assignment of that deal to that end buyer is what we call the dispo, but that also includes a little bit of marketing. You have to sometimes prospect and market to find this kind of people, and my favorite way of doing that is to go through the software. Okay, so in the software, the prop stream, which again I'm going to put the, there you go, you can try it for free, it's on the screen. Let me make this bigger. All right, so in this is when you log in. Once you create your account for free, when you log in, this is what it looks like. Okay, so there are two different types of filters that I like to use. All the raw filters are under this box right here, this guy right here. This says filter right next to the search box. I've created some custom filters here, one called flipper agents, the other one called cash buyer, but let's just go raw. Right, if you go raw, you go under, see where it says lead list, you said this one that says flippers, right? But before we do that, let's go to a county. So this, in this episode, we're gonna go to Union County, New Jersey. Uh-oh, just type that in there, Union County, New Jersey. It auto populates, you click the right one. Okay, so I'm gonna go under filters, and then in Union County, New Jersey, there are 283 flippers. How does it know? These are essentially people that have characteristics of a flipped house, like somebody bought it in short term and they sell it. But if you want more explanation of this, PropStream does a great job of putting up videos and tutorials to show you how. Flippers is 283 people that I can literally start finding their contact information and keep building that list of potential buyers, because I'm looking for deals. Once I find deals, I want these people, I want easy access to start reaching out to these 283 people in Union County. You can also narrow down to specific cities if you want to, but when I click on this guy right here, and then I have all these properties. All these properties were basically, they're grouped under what they call flippers. All right, these are potential people that can pick up these properties from you. There's another one here that says cash buyers, meaning people that actually purchase the property for cash. Okay, so you can do it that way. You click on this guy and you can filter down. It also shows you people. Now you can narrow down by what type of property, right? So if I go back into the filter, you can go back to property details and you can narrow it down to specific types of properties, because this might be properties that don't fit, because some investors buy only certain types of property, and then you can narrow down. But I just wanted to show you that really quickly so you can know what's possible with the software. All right, so right there, that's DISPO explained. Okay, now I want to get a little bit deeper into this, so look forward for the next video right here. It's called how to DISPO wholesale deals, and then we'll get into that a little bit more. All right, I'll be right back. All right. All right, welcome back. So in this episode, we're going to dive a little bit more deeper into how to dispo wholesale real estate deals fast. If you missed the last video, go watch that. We explain what dispo is. I'll do like a brief explanation right now again. For those of you who might just stumble into this video by mistake. What is wholesale real estate deal? My name is Ola, by the way, but what is wholesale real estate deal? Wholesale real estate is basically the art and science of finding deeply discounted properties, locking them under contract. Okay, you secure equitable interest with a sales contract, and then you now have the right to buy the property at a set amount, usually discounted. Remember, discounted 75% or lower, 70% or lower, actually. All right, and then you assign the right to buy that property at that price to an end buyer investor. That is wholesale real estate deal. The very bit where you're assigning the right you created to another person for an assignment fee is what we call the disposition. Okay, we call it dispo, or disposition is called the phase 3. So phase 1, hold on one second. All right, so phase 1 is marketing. We'll cover more of that later on, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Phase 2 is acquisition, basically turning any lead generated into contract. You created the right to buy this property at a set price, and then you assign that right to another person for an assignment fee. Okay, and there are multiple different strategies to go about that. You have the assignment, you have the double closing. You also have something that's pretty new these days. You might have heard about it. It's called novation, which is basically, maybe you couldn't secure a very low discount. You couldn't secure high enough discount on the property, and then you get it. You still secure a contract, but then you get the property listed on the market, and then you still make money. Okay, so that will be phase 3, disposition. So today we're talking about how to dispo wholesale real estate deals fast, step by step. All right, so I'll try to do step by step, but my first thing that I always do is to go inside of PropStream. So if you don't know PropStream is a simple real estate investing software, and you can try it for free. There's a free trial when you go to myempirepro.com/PropStream. Okay, and excuse me. So you go to PropStream for free. You get to try for 30 days. Okay, but let's dive into how I would go about disposing properties for free. So let's go back into, I think this time we should go into Middlesex County, New Jersey. Middlesex County, New Jersey. Okay, here we go. All right, so over here, a couple of things. Okay, the filters are your friend. See this button right here? This is your friend. This is where you want to play if you want. So you've managed to set up a good marketing operation. If you don't know how to do that, we can help you here. Just reach out. Then you've managed to, your marketing is working, and somebody called you and they said they're ready to get rid of a piece of property that was inherited, but now there's taxes owed on it and it's facing foreclosure, and they're only owing $5,000 on a piece of property that's worth about $350,000. They've tried to see if they could do something with the property, but they're not interested. They live in California. This property is in Middlesex County, New Jersey. So they just want to get rid of it. Okay. So you say, okay, great. You negotiated a good deal. This is acquisition. And then you locked it up under contract for, let's say, 165. Remember, this property is worth what? Maybe let's just say 450, right? After repair, it's worth about 450, right? So, but you found that you were able to lock it under contract for 175. So now you need to make money. You need to close the deal. You need to go to that phase of closing the deal, which we call disposition, by finding end buyer investor, and then assigning the right to buy this property at 175 to that end buyer investor, and then you charge the end buyer investor $20,000. So their total cost in will be 175 plus $20,000, 195. It's still a big deal. It's still a good deal for them because that property needs about $50,000 worth of work. So let's say they are all in $250,000, right? They still get to sell the property for 450 after closing costs. It's good profit for them. So you can find deals like this by simply learning wholesale real estate. Okay. So now that you have this property unlocked under contract, now you want to get into disposition, which we can help you with as well in case you have such a deal somewhere. Okay. All you have to do is reach out using the link in the description. All right. So now you want to assign, you want to get into disposition, and that's what we're talking about, how to dispose this kind of properties step by step. Okay. So I will go into prop stream, and then I will put in the county where the property is located, or the city. You can narrow down to the city. You can start small and then start growing, but county is a fair level to start from. So once you put that in there, you can see there's 256,000 properties on record in Middlesex County. We're going to go on the filters. The filters are your friend, and there are two lead lists that I'm looking at here, preset lead list that PropStream has set up in here. Okay, there are two of them. One of them is called flippers. Okay, flippers, and the other one is called cash buyers. Okay, the flippers one, I think it actually gives you access to a list of buyer agents, cash buyer agents. Okay, so let's go into one of them. Let's go and click on this guy. Okay, and once we click on that guy, we can narrow down by, so you want to narrow down by property types. Okay, so property types, the way they're listed in New Jersey is a little bit weird. Most of the rest of the country, you don't have to deal with this, but here we'll go by number of bedrooms. Once a property has like 5 bedrooms, this one says, why is it maxing out at 5? Let me see if it allows us to type it in. Okay, it does. So I'll just put 7 minimum. Okay, so let's not put max, let's put minimum 5 bedrooms, minimum 5 bedrooms rather, a minimum of 2 bathrooms. So that will pull up all the multiple unit properties in the area. And I'm looking for investors that are open to buying, so they're open to buying anything, let's see, maximum anything 1960 and backwards. Okay, any property that was built 1960 and backwards. If this was a condo, I can decide to say homeowners association, include any properties with homeowner association, right? But let's just keep that at any. Everything else is any. We don't want to be too specific, but these are filters that you can use. Okay, so now we've narrowed down to 59 properties. If you look at the top here, and I'm going to click view these properties. Okay, these are the 59 properties that was purchased by let me go back to filters. We have flippers. Okay, so these are essentially agents. That's the way PropStream defined it the last time I checked. So I'm going to go, there's a South Amboy property here. List price is $625,000. The status date, it was active. It became active. It's saying 285 here. Let me see, $285,000 price. It was listed. Let me see. Okay, so let's click into this property. Just look at more detail, right? But there was some cash buying activities here. It looks like, let's see where it says cash sale. Let's look at that. So somebody purchased this at $285,000. Property is worth $548,000 right now. Or there's another place where it's actually said $625,000. It's listed up for $625,000. Okay, this is making sense. They purchased it at $285,000. It's now listed at $625,000. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the cash transaction, because remember, we're looking to dispo a deal. So we're looking for a cash buyer who can check out a property that I have under contract right now. That's how we make money, right? So they also have a new tab here. I like this new tab. It's called intelligence. I wonder where it's under intelligence. Let's click into it. Exterior condition, property condition. Okay, we could play with that one later, but foreclosure factor 1% is low. It's pretty low anyway. Let's go back to cash sale. Under cash sale, we could see that there was a seller, Simon Louis. All right, and what else? There's a buyer. Woodland LLC, that's the buyer. Those are the cash buyers right there. So I would need information on that cash buyer. Now go under MLS detail and find out who the agent is. There's an agent, Sandra. We want to reach out to Sandra. Say, hey, Sandra, I noticed that you listed a property at Woodland. You have a cash buyer. I do have a deal. I'm a real estate wholesaler in the neighborhood. I have a deal that I think your buyer will be interested in. That is probably the best way to find this deal. Now you can go through all 59 properties here and do the same step by step. Remember, you have gold in your hands. A property you secured at 175, you're ready to make $20,000. Would you make 59 calls so you can make $20,000? Anyway, this is one of many other ways you can, anyhow you can reach out to some of these cash buyers. So if you go on the filter here, you can also go to cash buyer here, right? And then we keep the same property type and stuff, but you can go under that and you can also filter down. If you scroll down, you can see more information by scrolling down to secure based on how long they've owned the property, because that's 10,000 pieces. Well, it's narrowed down to 697 pieces of properties because of the filters. And you can narrow down further using the filters below here based on the type of property you're looking for. Just like that, you have access to all the cash buyers that you need. All right, this software is easy. Again, try it out for free. Just go to myempirepro.com/popstream. You can also click directly from the description box. All right, now I've got my next video. I'm definitely going to be talking about, do DISPO companies suck? Wholesale real estate truth. That's what I want to talk about next, so be on the lookout for that in case you are a replay gang and you're watching this in replay. All right, please do me a favor. Please hit like, share, subscribe on this channel. We're trying to wake up the algorithms because we are just coming back again. It's been a minute, so help us share, like, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. Without any further ado, let's move on to the next one. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So this one is going to be a fun segment. We're talking about real estate investing, real estate wholesale. Yeah, you can get all my books for free. They're available on Amazon. The first one is called Smart Real Estate Wholesaling. My name is Ola, by the way. And the second one is called Real Estate Money Secrets. The third one is called Digital Marketing. Why digital marketing? Because we look for deals. We look for deals and we sell those deals. We assign those deals for $10, $20, $30,000. The highest I've ever done from one single deal is $82,000 for one deal. I couldn't feel myself. Okay, but it's very possible, and it's still very possible. We just have to master the art of wholesale real estate, which is the art and science of finding discounted properties, locking them up under a real estate contract. You lock them up with a significant discount, 25% or more. Okay, then you adjust it for the cost estimate to repair the property. All right, there's something called maximum allowable offer. I might do a video about that one later, right? So you make a maximum allowable offer, you create a deal, you create a built-in equity from the property, and then you assign that deal to an end buyer investor. That process of assigning a secured deal to an end buyer investor is what we call the disposition. So the first phase is marketing. Okay, we can set you up. You can also learn how to set up. Marketing education is free out there, but if you can be overwhelmed easily with overload of information, I can definitely help. Just have to reach out with the link and contact information in the description box. This next phase is called acquisition, and the third phase is called disposition, and that's kind of like what we're talking about today a little bit. So there are some companies. What is a disposition company? what is a disposition company? So I launched my real estate business in, I always consider when I closed my first deal, which was December 2005. But I started marketing the first phase of it like 6 months before that. It was just about the time I was graduating from college, my graduate studies in engineering management. So it just made sense for me to go into real estate. So I've never had a day job since then. It's been 20 years. Okay. All right. So now, so back then, I did everything. Okay. But as time moved on, I dabbled into some other things, stuff like digital marketing, stuff like even healthcare IT consulting, which I'm still doing, which I will, I still do, Anyway, there's multiple streams of income, right? So, but I've had a lot of ups and downs because as a young man, I was 25, 26 years old at the time. There's so many things I needed to learn. But lo and behold, 20 years later, something is standing the test of time, and that's real estate. But thank goodness we can apply what we've learned over time, digital marketing to be precise, and to enhance the process of wholesale real estate. And we're still here. All right. So now disposition companies are companies who decided, a company or and a person who decides, so instead of doing the whole thing, all three phases, phase one marketing, phase two acquisition, and phase three disposition, a company that decides that I'm just going to focus on disposition. I'm going to find wholesale real estate guys that have secured a deal. I'm going to help them get rid of that deal. Okay. I'm going to help them secure a buyer, an end buyer investor for that deal. So a person that have decided to focus on just that will, or a company is called disposition companies. And I've noticed over the past, I would say 10 years, there's been an increasing number of people that have just decided to focus on disposition. So I found a subreddit. Is that what you guys call it? Here, dispo companies suck, and I want us to go through it together. This is this is gonna come in terms of mindset. If you want to make money with real estate investing or wholesale real estate, there's certain types of mindset that you don't want to adopt, and you want to be careful, and you want to be objective about this kind of stuff. It can be hard, but if you've created any level of success in this business or any type of business, you'll be able to relate to where I'm going. So this was posted 8 months ago. So dispo companies suck. Well, 99% of them at least. So that person's living room for 1%. Ever notice how vast majority of the posts on here are wholesalers who have a stacked buyers list and are looking for deals in XYZ city? Okay. To me, it's just a bunch of lazy people who want a daisy chain. Okay, daisy chain is a keyword phrase in the industry. Okay, daisy chain other wholesalers' contracts by making Facebook posts and email blasts to hopefully make 50%. When it's way harder to actually get a contract signed with the seller. Don't be one of those lazy people. Get off your ass and go talk to sellers and find your own deals. Okay. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it real quick. Let's make it hasty. I don't want to waste too much time on that. Okay. So this is why this person thinks disposition companies suck. All right. So let me break something to you. Let me bust your bubbles. There's phase one, which is marketing, right? Guess what? Disposition is at least 25% marketing too. Okay. The marketing gets a little bit easier if you've been building a buyers list. Buyers list is no jokes. To build a buyers list, to go through the process I showed you on my last video. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. It's called How to Dispo Wholesale Real Estate Deals Fast, step by step, right? So the disposition of a wholesale deal is not easy. Okay. It involves at least 25% marketing, and building a buyers list involves tenacity, involves dedication, it involves commitment, and you have to kind of nurture those leads or lead lists over time. You have to create relationship with them. So this post is actually making an assumption that it is very easy to just create a buyer's list and find other people's deals. Well, the greatest mistake I've made in 20 years when it comes to real estate is not engaging collaboration much earlier. I'll tell you that right now for free. You see, you might be new in the game and you might feel like you've got this all figured out. But you know, the 2008 recession completely wiped me out. That was me. I was young, 25, 26, 27, 28, when all of this success, windfall, you know, if you will, that I thought I just had it all figured out until recession showed up and I barely knew what recession, the word recession meant when it happened. I was too young. Even if I knew the word recession, I don't think I was able to comprehend completely what that meant. Okay. So, with that being said, you know, I was too naive for what was about to happen. So, I could just see all over this post that this person is naive and is very innocent. 99% of them suck. Well, in any part of any business, any game, there's going to be a lot of bad eggs, you know, and it's part of your job to know how to filter through them. If somebody is reaching out to you and they just want a piece of the meat you've created, just have them bring up the buyer. Just, you don't have to say. One of the mistakes that you guys make is that you sign a contract with a person that's not put down 1,000, 2,000, 2,000 minimum, $2,000 earnest money deposit, EMD. They haven't put that down, and you just sign a contract with them, hoping they will find you. If you have to do that, it's a good sign that you don't have a deal, that your deal is very bad. Because if your deal is good enough, if you follow my last video, you will find a buyer fast, very fast. You won't have to sign contract with people that have no money. Okay, so you need to have systems in place to filter through the BS and stop complaining about the fact that you have to filter through the BS. It's just what you have to do in any business. Okay, so this person said 99% of them at least. Okay, it's generalization at best, and the reality is that there's going to be a significant number of people, wholesalers, that might have a buyer's list and they want to sign a contract with you and they have no money to pick up deals on their own. It's okay that they want to do business with you. Just tell them to bring their buyers. If they don't trust you, that you pay them after they help you find a buyer, then you don't need to be dealing with them. Because remember, you have the contract, you have the leverage, okay? And you can keep it that simple, okay? Oh, let me send you over the contract. Like, no, send the EMD, okay? Send the EMD over, send $5,000. So you can send it to this escrow account, and then we'll create a contract. No, you could deal with your own buyer, you know, and you want to have measures like that in place. And it's a case by case situation. Some people you have relationship with them and they might bring you deal from time to time, you know, it's just what it is. But what a daisy chain mean is that I found a deal and then you go find a deal and then you find this person and then this person find a deal and then there's a three chain of people that want to get paid on a piece of property. At that point in time, it's going to get messy and then you can potentially wake up a prosecutor in your city and get in trouble. Anyway, so but I don't think you should be too anal about just do business with people, partner up with people, but also make sure you're not signing weirdo contracts that is not backed up with consideration. Consideration meaning money, putting their money where their mouth is. Okay, that's what I'll tell you about that. So I wouldn't say DISPO companies suck. I will say it sounds like you suck. You need to put systems in place. It's okay to suck in the beginning, by the way, but put systems in place to filter through the BS, because every business will come with BS. This is just the reality about the game of real estate. Okay, particularly wholesale real estate. All right. So if you don't want to be in a position where you're desperate and you want to find your own buyers, check out PropStream. Okay, PropStream is your friend. PropStream is a great software that you can use. You can search, you can use the flippers filter to filter and find established buyers, people that have actually closed deals. Okay, and you can find them on PropStream. Just go to myempirepro.com/PropStream, and you take a free trial for 30 days and you'll be supporting our business here as well. Okay, and if you need help personally through the three phases: phase one, marketing, you want to set up your own wholesale real estate business, I got you. Phase two, acquisition. Phase three, disposition. You want to partner with me, you want to make money together, let's talk about it. All the links are in the description box below. So there you have it. I don't think you should worry about if disposition companies or entities or people suck or not. Just make them work for it. That's all. Make them work for it. All right. All right. So there's one more segment I think we should just look out for it. I'm gonna round up this live session like this, like this. Okay. So just look out for it. But make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll see you very, very soon. I'll be right back.